Well, I got invited to the compound. It's my first offer. You know, I'm excited. Matt Binder's been there before.
Join the club.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be cleansed. I got way too beanie horny. I'll be honest with you. As soon as I saw that post that he made, I was like, debate now. Come on, Skype, Discord. And then obviously he doesn't want to do that right away. So I'm gonna wait for a proper formal invite. So and at which point I will go to the Tim Pool compound and I think discuss some matter topics. That will be of interest. Yeah, that's probably the best way to put it.
Lance, I have to add, don't you ever say beanie horny in the same sentence when you're talking about Tim Pool ever again.
It's quite the setup there because they got it's 5-on-1 basically, right? It's like Tim
5-on-1, and you don't, and Matt, you can correct me, but you don't have access to internet, right? You gotta have everything.
I mean, you should no. If you bring you should now that you know you could bring a laptop, which I was not informed about.
I would like to do that also.
But you can bring a laptop, yes. But I would say don't get too caught up in it. I think just go with what you know instead of going back and forth with, obviously if there's something to double check, but I wouldn't just go back and forth on questions that you're Googling, you know what I mean? The whole time.
Oh, yeah, but that's how I live my life now. ChatGPT 4. But actually, everything that's coming out of my mouth right now is actually ChatGPT 4. It's just in real time.
They always go down these super weird rabbit holes or bring up random facts that aren't actually facts. This is the issue with a lot of the way with any debate with the right wing is they will just make shit up. And then you check later, it's that didn't actually happen, that wasn't true, or they misconstrued the data. So it's like fighting a wall, trying to get a point across if they're gonna try and pull some of that shit, which they do all the time. At least Tim Pool does, I've seen. So
I gotta ask you both, David and the rest of the panel. Do you think it'd be inappropriate to also have demands? Because I feel like my flesh is being bought by this, and I'm fine with that. I'm willing to sell my flesh.
What do you mean demands? But I'm just saying, what do you mean?
Well, I just mean do you think I could get a billboard out of it? He buys New York Times billboards. Could I get
He's not going to give you a billboard.
No,
no, you're not going to get a billboard, Chief.
Okay.
I think that you should be a diva.
All right, well,
but maybe not to that extent.
I want to be a diva. I want to be a diva.
This may come as no surprise, but I don't know who Tim Pool is, what the compound is.
Have we not covered a Tim Pool clip on the show before?
I feel like y'all have been speaking in special terms this entire conversation. I am so embarrassed because I've been sitting here should I know? Yeah. I'm assuming it's the right wing person getting I'm not on that part of Twitter.
This is a reminder to me that there are all these rabbit holes and discussions and debates and fights that happen that literally the vast majority of people have no idea exist or even happening. Yeah, Tim Pool has a massive show. He's had a billboard in Times Square.
Multiple billboards.
You still know who he is, and that just shows us that a lot of people don't know who the hell these people are.
Yeah, it makes me feel better about the world, honestly.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it does. I feel better.
Oh, this is why you said beanie horny.
Beanie man,
yeah.
He's just bald man with a beanie that's angry.
What about beanies? What?
He just wears a lot of beanies.
All right, I got to bring up Tim. I got to bring up an image.
And David, should we mention they're called toques in Canada? We don't have beanies
called
in Canada.
We don't call them beanies.
They're called toques. Yeah.
They're called what?
Toques is a cuter word.
Toques?
It's cute, right? Toques.
I have to be honest. I have to be honest, and I'm so sorry to my Canadian brothers, but that is the dumbest Canadian thing. You win in every other
much dumber Canadian shit.
This is terrible.
You have us beat everywhere else though.
You've never seen him before.
I don't know this man. Sorry.
Oh wait, I was looking up his social media.
He has one of the largest collection of political channels on YouTube. He's below Steven Crowder as the biggest political news person on YouTube.
This person, they go to him for news.
He's also a rock star. He just dropped a single.
He's a musician too.
Yeah, he is a musician. A billboard artist, mind you.
Don't treat it seriously, Mike. You're acting like he's like a real musician.
Well, he made music. By definition, he has.
Sure, I guess.
Made a song.
Whatever.
Oh wait, no. He's the dude that made the Nickelback song, right?
Yes,
basically.
Right, this is real stuff.
Fair.
A political
Nickelback's
commentator.
much better.
Well, yes. It's coming together now. I only see memes about this guy. I have no idea what he actually
So
does.
he don't like Lance.
Well,
I guess
I
not.
don't know if
Just
he doesn't
Lance.
like me. No, he likes me enough to
happened?
bring me there to the compound. I'm excited. I got all expenses paid. Apparently.
What prompted it, I guess. Is
Oh
the
yeah, he
question.
pays. He pays for you to go. He completely.
I'm excited.
You don't got to spend a dime.
I need
Tim
like
Pool's
a
idiots. Come
drama-
on. Yeah, let's talk about.
We
Okay,
need a
so we got
drama
it.
recap.
That's what Tim Pool is.
Okay.
Now, what is the
All right.
controversy?
Okay, so this is content warning. Things are going to get a little grim. Tim Pool was not always this fucking vicious or vile, but very recently, and this just ramped up. And to me personally, and I think Mike is the other person who identified this, after the Pulse nightclub shooting, he was one of the people who, instead of being like, thoughts and prayers, we're really sorry this happened, that's truly a tragedy or anything like that, was just like, you threw a grooming operation, what did you think was going to happen? Hey, there were groomers there. We told you. People were asking for a wood chipper. What did you think was going to happen? Like, literal quote, you know? And at that point, I was like, it's not even thoughts and prayers anymore. It's so fucking extreme, you know? It's like, when did like common decency or civility or any of that shit just go out the window? And I was just like, well, they were all pedos. So what did you think was going to happen? And like around that time, I just started going hard. I was just like, fuck you, you deplorable fucking, piece of shit. And so like, I have not put on the brakes on that since. And so I often do get viral clips on Twitter where I'll post shit about Tim Pool. And so he finally invited me onto the show. So I don't know if it's because it reached a certain point. I think it's maybe because right now I'm getting clowned on very successfully by the right for the whole kids don't take puberty blockers take on Twitter, by which I was trying to point out, by the way, if I can just clarify one quick second. The reason I'm saying that is that I think a lot of the right are obsessed and fixated on trans kids. And they always talk about 1 to, I'd say, like the 10 category. That's what they like. Won't someone think of the children? It's not won't someone think of the prepubescent teens? Won't someone think of the teenagers? It's always like, won't someone think of the children? And in that, like, kids do not get bottom surgery, mastectomies, puberty blockers. It's people who are going through puberty who get puberty blockers, and it's people who, with the permission of a doctor as well as their parents, they may get a mastectomy. Cis women get mastectomies. One of my best friends in high school got a breast reduction because her breasts were too large and it was giving her back problems. None of that is unusual, but you fixate on this shit. So I'm like, kids do not get the things you're talking about. And then they did that at Community Notes or whatever, like Seth Dillon, all these, like, they're hall monitor snitches. Every one of them, all the like free speech Republicans, they're all like, at Community Notes, surf's wrong, blah blah blah. I was like, oh, you're all snitching on me. This is wild. All the free speech Republicans, you all became fucking cucked as soon as this shit popped off. All right, so fair enough. All of you are super upset. You're super happy that you got a Community Notes. I have a Community Notes tab on one of my tweets, and I think that's what provoked, because it was a quote tweet on Tim Pool. I think that's what provoked it. I think that's what he's like, we can bring him on. He's a fool. We'll get him on there. And I am a fool. Fair enough. But I'm a proud fool. I'll say that.
No, okay. What you said, Lance, was obvious and reasonable. But if you don't use language or speak with the utmost specificity, they will exploit any perceived weakness. They know.
Meanwhile, they fucking lie all the time.
Right.
And it's exposed again and again, and it's just like forgotten about like a day later. Like, it's just and like they'll have crazy tangents. Like Peterson goes on some crazy. Jordan Peterson goes on some crazy weird tangent, and it's like
milking videos.
They still treat with respect. Like, it's just so the whole conversation. Look, as a cis man, I am exhausted by this anti-trans shit, and I can't even imagine how actual trans people feel about all this. It is an onslaught. It is never ending, and it is so fucking exhausting just for me as a person covering it. Like, it's ridiculous.
I cannot agree with more.
These are the downsides of white commentator Twitter. I don't know nothing about. No, I don't even know most of these characters' names.
You don't need to. It's okay. Honestly, at
the end of the day, I don't consider, and people can feel how they want to feel about this, but the right to me are not a legitimate. I don't see them as people worth like engaging. I don't think there's any merit in what they have to say. I don't think that there's any value in their thought processes. I don't care. They are. That's how I feel about that. So to me, it's like in doing any kind of advocacy or doing the work or saying the things that you need to say to defend communities from being under constant attacks by bigots and white nationalists, these people are going to be mad. Like, yeah, they're going to be fucking hot. They're going to be dunking on you. Yeah, that's all. Like, to me, the problem will be when they like what you have to say. It's when if they like what you have to say, that's when it's like, ooh, I didn't fuck up. Like, yeah, but like they're literally
I
fucking
agree.
extremists. The right are a bunch of fucking extremists. All this trans, all the things, they're just extremists. So they're gonna have a problem. Any reasonable thing is gonna sound real fucking wild to a goddamn extremist. So fuck them. And in the real world, we don't even. Come on over to Death Row Records. We don't even know what they're talking about. I didn't even know. I had no idea they was talking. I didn't even.
I will say, I agree with you in like bird's eye view. The issue is they have an actual impact, and the influence they have is what is pushing anti-trans legislation forward.
Absolutely.
So that's why it's like we're caught in a situation where you address it and you in a kind of a roundabout way platform it, even though they're more popular than we are. But at the same time, if you ignore them, then they get to control the narrative.
Yeah,
so
I don't think
there's no right answer. Like there's no.
I don't think we should ignore them on the substance. I think y'all should do exactly what it is that you're doing. Everyone's doing. Like I think Lance, you should continue with the message. I just think it's not even worth to me as far as them as individuals. Like, what is the point of taking on the stress again in their foolishness? Because at the end of the day, it's a circus for them. They're not in it for any. This is not about principle. This is not about.
No, no, it's content. Yeah, it's always content. 100%
this is
content.
foolishness for these people. Meanwhile, you out here actually care. You actually trying to advocate. You actually trying to deal with this and be serious. And these flipping buffoons got you stressed out and all in the mud with them. It's like them, I mean, as individuals. Like if they talking shit, block these motherfuckers, block all them, fuck all them, la 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 la. But do what you doing. Say what you saying. Keep saying that's good. If they're mad, at the end of the day, they only bother to respond to what's worthwhile. If you're truly not saying anything impactful, if it's stupid, if nobody would be swayed by it, they wouldn't even feel the need to try to be on it, to be on you, to be on your head. That's the reason why they're trying to discredit you, So I would take that as a badge of I'm doing the right thing and to continue on with that.